ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Small Brain Pilot channel. Today we're parked here at Istanbul in the beautiful Turkish Airlines Boeing 737-900ER. The route we're about to fly today is a very special route. It is one of the longest flights in the world operated by the 737. It is a regular service from here from Istanbul, Turkey down to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania with the beautiful 737-900ER extra range. So it's going to be quite a long flight, it's going to be quite a fun flight, so without further ado, let me get started with the walk around. Ladies and gents, we're here in the cockpit of the Boeing 737-900ER. It's cold and dark, like a true man starts the aircraft from cold and dark. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started, get the aircraft boarded, get the fuel on board. Have to look over the numbers very carefully as it is teetering on the max range of the 737. And I'll see you guys once we're ready for APU startup. Okay, ladies and gents, we have the aircraft now configured with the flight plan, the FMC. Total flight distance today is roughly 3,040 nautical miles. Should take us around 7 hours if I'm not mistaken. We're going to be taking off runway 34 right here at Istanbul via the, let me just check, well, hold on, via the, I think it's something Charlie departure. Hold on, let me check my flight plan real quick. Via the Rugby 4 Charlie departure, and we're going to be going into Tanzania, Dar es Salaam via the Gira 1 Alpha landing on ILS runway 05. I have multiple warnings on my flight sim brief that the aircraft exceeds the range, the flight plan exceeds the aircraft's range, but don't worry, I have the fuel set up, I manually calculated. It should be enough, we should get to Tanzania just with enough fuel. Cruising level today is going to be flight level 330. Well, that's enough chatting. With that being said, we can get to the meat and potatoes of today's flight and get started with the APU startup. So start the APU on the Boeing 737, we're going to come up here, flick the APU switch to on, and hold in the start position, and it should flick die automatically. The APU should now be spooling up. We know that the APU is available for us to use because we have the APU gen off warning here, so we can switch the aircraft to APU power. Once the aircraft is on APU power, we can turn on the APU bleed. With that being said, we can disconnect ground power, disconnect the jetway, and we can get started with the pushback, and yeah, let's get ourselves pushed back. Alright, ladies and gents, now that we've pushed back out of the gate, we can successfully start up our engines. So to start the engines, we're going to come up here, we're going to make sure that the beacon light is on, which is the anti-collision light here. We're going to flick the starter switch to the right position, as we're going to be starting engine number 1 first. We're going to flick the starter to ground. We're going to come up here, observe that the start valve is open, and that the EGT is rising. N1 is rising. With that being said, we can throw in the fuel. Alright, once engine number 2 has started successfully, we can repeat the same process for engine number 1. So just going to come up here, click the starter to the left, ignition to the left, starter to ground, come down here, observe the EGT and the N1. Once we can see that it is rising to a satisfactory amount, we can throw in the fuel similar to engine number 2. Once the engines have spooled up, we can go ahead and set flaps of departure. So flaps of departure today are flaps 10. So flaps 1, 2, 5, and 10. Once the flaps are set, we can go up here, we can turn on the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights, switch the aircraft to gen power, and turn off the APU. Disconnect APU, well, not the bleed, disconnect I keep clicking, disconnect the APU bleed, switch packs to auto. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for taxi. So I'm going to taxi over to runway 34 right, and I'll see you guys once we're ready for departure out of Istanbul.
Hey there, fellow travelers, I'm Emmett.
And I'm Wildstyle.
After our last adventure, I guess you could say we've kind of become movie stars.
But we're between movies right now. And what do movie stars do between movies?
Star in a flashy airline safety video. Can we get the step-by-step flashy video instructions, please?
Here you go.
Step 1, make sure you're inside the airplane. Oh, here we go.
Carefully stow your luggage and overhead bin. Whoa! Emmett!
Oh, I thought you were a suitcase.
You can also store it under the seat in front of you.
What's next? Oh, please say seatbelts, please say seatbelts.
Seatbelt.
I knew it. When the seatbelt sign is on, please fasten your seatbelt. Keep it fastened and visible while seated. Yes! You can release it as shown here when needed. The cabin crew also provides loop belts for infants.
Step 2, don't be afraid to use.
Everything looking good. The aircraft's not screaming at me. No warnings. That being said, toga. Thrust set. Quite a heavy aircraft here today. 80 knots, called out, verified.
V1, rotate.
V1, rotate. Gently. Forward ground strike.
Positive rate of climb.
Positive climb. Gear up.
Pakistan 021, you are not cleared to take off.
Flaps up. Alright. We're out of Istanbul. As you can see, beautiful green here of the European skies. I'm just gonna keep the aircraft flying at 1500 feet per minute as we hit the first waypoint. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna enjoy hand flying this 737-900 out of this departure. You guys, and I'm gonna get the autopilot configured so I can get some external shots of you guys. But before we do that, wow. Look at that Turkish coastline here. That is beautiful. That is actually beautiful. Again, I apologize for the stuttering. I have the frame gen mod active, but you know, with FSLTL, we know how hard that can be. So yeah, sorry for the stutters. I apologize. Anyways, flaps are up entirely. I'm gonna get the autopilot configured. I'll see you guys once we're in short final at Dar es Salaam. Alright, ladies and gents, welcome back to the cockpit of the Boeing 737-900ER. After 7 hours of flying and dangerously low on fuel, we've made it here. On to Zanzibar. I'm going to disconnect the autopilot. Not Zanzibar, sorry. We made it Julius Nyerere. I do not know how to pronounce the airport. But we've made it here to Tanzania. And we're on short final here. It's good, beautiful weather, 1,400 feet. Beautiful city of Dar es Salaam, that's where we're flying. Beautiful city of Dar es Salaam right under us.
1,000.
I'm just gonna hand fly this approach. My hand flying skills have been quite dodgy past few days, as you might have seen with the center lines. So I'm really trying to get my confidence back.
Traffic. Traffic.
Let's just ignore that. I mean, we shouldn't ignore that, but it's okay, it happened. Alright, hand flying, hand flying. Alright. I'm gonna go sterile cockpit. I really want to focus on buttering this bread. So I'm gonna shut up and you guys can just watch this on your own.
$100, $50, $30, $20, $10.
And touchdown at Dar es Salaam. That was honestly butter. It was worth the sterile cockpit. Oh, that was a great landing. Okay, wow. 7 hours of flying for that. Decel nicely. Auto brakes active. Reverses are out. Slowing down. Alright, dissing into reversers. Manual braking. Alright guys, I'm gonna get ourselves taxied over to the runway. Taxied over to the gate. And I'll see you guys once we're ready for engine shutdown.
Hanımefendiler, beyefendiler ve sevgili çocuklar, kemer ikaz ışıkları sönünceye kadar kemerinizi bağlı tutunuz. Tüm elektronik cihazlarınızı kullanabilirsiniz. Uçak park pozisyonuna ulaştığında başüstü dolaplarını açarken dikkatli olunuz. Yolculuğunuzun iyi geçmiş olduğunu umuyor ve sizlerle yeniden karşılaşmayı diliyoruz. Star Airlines üyesi Türk Hava Yolları ile uçtuğunuz için teşekkür ederiz.
Ladies and gentlemen and dear children, please keep your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been turned off. You may use your electronic devices. Please be...
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after about 7 hours of flying and only 1.3 tons of fuel left, we've made it here to the gate at Dar es Salaam. With that being said, we can get ahead with the best part of the flight, turning off the engines. So we can turn off the taxi lights, we can turn off the anti-collision lights, we can switch the aircraft on to APU power, and with that being said, we can finally shut down these engines. So, ladies and gentlemen, as the jetway comes in to be connected, we can finally call it block time on today's video. It was a beautiful flight across the Anatolian Peninsula, across Cairo, across a lot of African countries to finally make it here to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. I think this is the first time I've flown into the African continent in flight sim in general, so it's a great flight. We were really pushing the maximum range on this Boeing 737-900ER, and I don't know if you guys noticed in the taxi, we had something really funny happen here. As you can see, there's the Turkish Airlines, the actual Turkish Airlines flight that also flies to Zanzibar is also coincidentally parked here at Dar es Salaam. So, yeah. Anyways, folks, that's all in today's video. If you liked today's video, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and leave any route suggestions you have below. I'd love to fly to new destinations, and hopefully better landings to all of you. Happy flying, Small Brain Pilots, signing out for the day.